Ladies and gentlemen, it is your boy Dalyxman. You are watching the big end of the year awards ceremony, and this is going to be the best of 2016. I am going to tell you the results of all of the fan voting that we've been doing throughout the week, but also give you the award winners. And I'm going to use cover art done by the Stage Man. I want to give him a shout out right now. His name, the Stage Man, has been doing a lot of my cover art this year. You've seen it on my previews, my reviews. He's an amazing cover artist, and he's done a lot of really cool looking pictures, photos for me. And he deserves all the credit for all of the work, all the photos, all the awards, everything you see in this video, he did. Thank you, Stage Man. The links to everything about him, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, down below in the description box. If you want a wrestling wallpaper or maybe a request of any wrestler or anything that you want him to make, hey, I'm pretty sure he'll take it. Look for him down below in the description box. Thank you again, Stage Man, for all your work. But guys, we are live here on YouTube for the big award ceremony, categories and everything. This is the best of the best in the world of wrestling. Down below in the comments and in the live chat, tell me the winners of each of the categories that you would have picked. The categories are in the description box. Have fun, and have freedom in discussing who you think should win. And of course, if you agree or disagree with the results of all the awards I talk about, hey man, don't feel like my award show is the end-all be-all of award shows. This is just my opinion, my perspective, how I view wrestling. This is the best in terms of me. And that's the beauty thing. That's the beautiful thing about being a wrestling fan, about being wrestling fans. We all can appreciate wrestling in our own way. You know, it's an art. And the best thing about art is that it speaks to each one of us in different ways, based off of how we've grown up, based off of how we have come into this world. So yeah, guys, as always, like the video. You know how this works. Like the video, subscribe. If you watched it all, and this is going to be a long video. This is going to be a very long one, so might want to buckle up. Hashtag I watched it all, and if you did, you are amazing. Like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. I will be tweeting during shows. And everything else down below in the description box, as well as a t-shirt. If you want to buy yourself a Dalyxman t-shirt, go ahead and get it, ladies and gentlemen. I think that's everything I wanted to plug. So here's how this is going to work. I am going to open up with the category. In this case, the first one is wrestling catchphrases. I will give you the results and then give you the winner. And that's how it is. Now, how this will be different than every other award show you'll see here on YouTube or period. What I want to do is discuss who the fans think should have won, because there are a couple of categories here where the fans think this guy should have won, and I chose someone completely different. And you guys knew that coming into this. And we're going to have a discussion on that difference and whether or not, you know, that should have happened, because I think that's interesting. I love it when, you know, a majority has a different opinion than, of course, me, because everybody is subjective. So that's what we're going to do. So let's go ahead and get this off the ground. I'm done talking. Thank you guys for joining me. Let's get to it with the first award of the day. Wrestling catchphrases. Here are the results of wrestling catchphrases. And it is, without question, who won this one. Chris Jericho's "You Just Made the List" comes in at number 1. But let's talk about the other ones on here, man. You got "You're Gonna Get It," which didn't get as much of a reception as I thought it would. Now, this category didn't really get that many votes. I think it got like close to about 400 400 in total, which is all right. But still 1%. I thought we had got more than that. But glorious. Bobby Roode's glorious. Glorious. 10. Perfect 10. Ty Dillinger did pretty well. The second best one is, of course, Matt Hardy's delete. I fade away and classify myself as obsolete. Of course, you're not going to get any better than that. And then you got some people who showed some love to Salt, Enzo Amore, and Big Cass. How You Doing didn't really get that much love. Reggie, Willie, and Gable didn't get that much love. New Day didn't get that much love at all, which is shocking. I would have thought, and this is just my opinion, I would have thought the New Day would have rivaled what was going on with Chris Jericho and others. But that, to me, is very interesting. But the winner of Wrestling Catchphrases is easy. Chris Jericho's You Just Made the List. Easily the catchphrase of the year. Love it. Love it. Chris Jericho, you are amazing at what you do. So, guys, there you go. That's the first one out the way. Easy, set, and done. All right. I think it's time we move on to the biggies. And I do believe he's on here. By the way, you'll have to excuse me. During the show, I will be switching photos because apparently Google Hangout isn't letting me put a lot of photos in the saved presets of the video. So I have to go through a certain list, delete all of them, and then reset up everything. So this is going to be very interesting. Hopefully this works out. But next award is Headline of the Year. And here are the results for Headline of the Year. And if you can see all of this is a lot of headlines, by the way. You have Dixie Carter and Billy Corgan. The stuff with Dixie Carter and Billy Corgan, to me, I won't say it's sad, but yeah, it's sad. It's a testament to how far, and it's almost to the point where I'm just like, can we just close this down? Like, seriously. I mean, how much are you guys going to continue this craziness? This is just ridiculous. I really don't have anything else I need to say about it. It's just, to me, Dixie Carter and Billy Corgan just. But we also had other headlines to talk about. Brock Lesnar failing his UFC drug test. And I heard that they are going to fine him. They have suspended him for a year. And his match against the Super Samoan, Mark Hunt, got turned into a no contest. Although Brock Lesnar won that match, it was turned into a no contest regardless. So, I don't know, man. I kind of feel like, here's what I will say. Should he have been punished? Yes. He failed the drug test twice. So he deserves some punishment. His fine was like $250,000. Okay, that's nothing. That's $1 to him. It's like, okay, here, I wipe my ass with $250,000 with Brock Lesnar. For real, like compared to how much he made off the UFC fight and then his WWE paycheck, it's like, that's nothing. So you got that. And then you have, what happened with him and Goldberg and all that. So to me, yeah, he got suspended from UFC, no contest. But to me, it's like, oh, yeah, because that really, really hurts him. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the punishment shouldn't have happened, because it should have. It was like, that's it. That's like a slap in the wrist for Brock Lesnar. Cody Rhodes leaving WWE. Here's the thing. We had a lot of people leave WWE this year. Damian Sandow, Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, whatever you want to call him. To me, the biggest one was Cody Rhodes. I kind of felt like if anybody really should have gotten a shot, out of all the people who left WWE, Cody really should have gotten more of an opportunity. And they never gave it to him. And that's ridiculous. That's just my opinion. Daniel Bryan's big retirement speech was one of the most heartfelt speeches I've ever heard. And I still think even to this day, his retirement is, really, really hitting fans. I don't know, man. I just kind of feel like what's happening with Daniel Bryan and everything about him it just hurts. You got Goldberg comes out of retirement, Joey Styles being fired, Roman Reigns being suspended. Now that was a big headline. I cannot believe how much attention that got on the internet and all the memes. The memes made that so hilarious. I wish I can post them all, but we'd be here all day. Paige and Alberto Del Rio suspended. Pray for them. I heard they got into another altercation and they got not arrested, but they've been getting into trouble a lot. Paige needs to watch out for herself because she might end up doing some crazy stuff. She's young, I get that, but still. Sexy Star wins the Lucha Underground Championship. That did catch a lot of headways. And I don't understand what the big deal was, but congratulations to her. Shane McMahon returns to WWE. Big deal. The WWE brand split. Huge deal. I actually thought that was going to win out. I'm actually shocked it didn't. And of course, I missed out on AJ Styles' debut at the Royal Rumble. Now, as you can tell by the list, that was the winner. The winner of this one was indeed AJ Styles' debut at the Royal Rumble, based off of what the fans said. And it was a big moment for AJ Styles. I think AJ debuting just really changed the game. It changed everything. And it was such a big moment that, not a lot of times does WWE get into the news or really make headwaves. This was a big moment for wrestling when AJ Styles debuted. And everybody knew who he was. That's what's crazy about it. Like, AJ Styles, you can say that he was an indie wrestler, that he's not the star power, star quality of a John Cena or The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin. But it says a lot about you that when you debut on a show for the very first time in the Royal Rumble match, and everybody knows who you are. So, congratulations to AJ Styles for a great debut and a great year. What a great year. So, the fans say AJ Styles' debut at Royal Rumble was the headline of the year. However, mine was a little different. My headline of the year, and I'm cheating here, but this is how I feel about it, is a tie. And that, my friends, is the return of Goldberg and the return of Shane McMahon. I feel like this, my friends, was like, oh my God. Let me tell you why these two were the headlines of the year and why each one is equally as important. Because you would have never thought in your wildest dreams you would see either one of these turn when this year started. I'm telling you right now, when 2016 started, I had no idea or even thought it was possible to see Goldberg or Shane McMahon back inside a WWE ring. And we did. I did. The returns, both of them were fantastic, by the way. Both crowds gave them rock star Hall of Fame receptions. And I do feel like them being back makes the shows better. They're not taking up too much TV time. They're not, taking opportunities away from people. When they're there, they make the show better. These were the moments that I feel like got the most reception, got the most headlines. And that, my friends, is why I'm giving the headline of the year to both Shane McMahon and Goldberg's return. Now, one of these two won return of the year. Which one that was? You'll have to find out. So, there you go, guys. Headline of the year was Goldberg and, give me a second, Shane McMahon. And now we move on to Babyface of the year. Babyface of the year basically talks about the hero of the year, the one that the fans rooted for the most, the one that got the fans excited, got them behind him, wanted to see win the most, didn't want to see him lose, and when he lost, it hurt. That's the kind of babyface, whether he's a badass or he's an underdog or he's just that man that you just love to see. You hear his music and you pop. And to me, there were a ton of those kinds of wrestlers this year. Not just in WWE, NXT, TNA, PWG, ROH, ton of them. But here are the results for Babyface of the Year. Take a look at this. So, By the way, guys, the list you're seeing is not the list I'm looking at. I have the list for myself here off screen because it's kind of hard for me to look at the list and talk to you guys at the same time. The list. You just make the list. But here we go. As you guys can see, there's only one real standout on the list, but I do want to talk about some of them. I thought Asuka was an amazing babyface. Just an all-out monster. You know, just a great, very well-booked female wrestler. American Alpha, I would have thought American Alpha would have gotten a lot more votes. They are coming in at 2%. And this category this one had 500 votes, by the way. 500 votes. 2%. Kind of wish they got more. Bayley, you know, based off of how everybody else balanced out, she did pretty well. I think the only person to match Bayley was Sami Zayn. Yeah, it was Sami Zayn. Both of them, by the way, like the quintessential underdog baby faces. They were amazing on NXT. Main roster, Sami Zayn had a better year than Bayley, but still, they were better on NXT. Becky Lynch had a great year. First ever SmackDown Women's Champion. Just a lovable babyface and quirky and dorky. It's just you cannot hate Becky Lynch. It's very hard to hate her. I know she likes being a heel, but still, you know. Cesaro, I can understand him being so low because the guy was injured a good portion of the year, and he never really got a chance to shine. Dean Ambrose, I've always felt like ever since that interview with Austin, he's pretty much never been the same, and I still stand by that. We had Ethan Carr the third, really awesome talent. Still can't believe WWE released them. Enzo and Cass, Finn Balor, Gargano and Ciampa. James Ellsworth, I thought was really going to get a lot of votes. Kind of shocked that he didn't. He's dead even with Gargano and Ciampa, who are a great tag team. Another person I thought was going to get more votes was Seth Rollins. Not a lot of people gave Seth Rollins love. I kind of thought, you know, at one point he was the top merchandise seller, and nobody really got behind him. So it was very weird. But based off of this list, anyways, moving on, the winner based off the fans is Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, the king of strong style. And it's kind of hard to disagree with them because guess what, guys? My winner for Babyface of the Year is the exact same guy, Shinsuke Nakamura. And it's kind of hard not to like him. Just a straight up badass, man. From his entrance, love his entrance theme. If I was to ever have an award for entrance theme of the year, it'd be a close battle between this guy, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Bobby Roode. Like, those two and their entrance themes are just amazing. But definitely Babyface of the Year. Had a match of the year candidate with Sami Zayn at NXT TakeOver Dallas. Well, two of them. He had a match of the year candidate with AJ Styles at Wrestle Kingdom 10. Just an all-out star. Just looking at him, you go, this guy is going to take everybody by storm when he gets to the main roster. I'm happy for him. I think he's doing amazing for himself. Top merchandise seller, and he hasn't even touched the main roster yet. I mean, you want proof that this guy is awesome? Where is it? Where is it? Here it is right here. Shinsuke is taking the world by storm, and here's the proof. Boom. King of Strong Style t-shirt. And you know me. I don't buy t-shirts unless I know that the guy I'm investing my money into is worth it, and he is definitely worth it. So Shinsuke Nakamura for Babyface of the Year. I had no issues with that. Love everything about him. He just screams charisma. He's a great wrestler, great personality. His microphone skills need some work because he's Japanese. He's not very good at English yet. That might hurt him on the main roster. Hopefully not. But with that said, if that's his only issue, then I have nothing to worry about. He's going to be awesome when he gets to the main roster. So there you go. Babyface of the Year, Shinsuke Nakamura. And then we move on to the heel of the year. The guy that you love to hate. The villain of villains. The kind of person that people pay the money to see get their asses kicked. I love the fact that this list was closer actually than the babyface of the year list, because you can see by a large margin, Shinsuke Nakamura was better than everybody else. But this list was different. This one was a little bit closer than you would think. But yeah, heel of the year is just that one villain that's so despised that, you know, makes you root for the baby faces, that gets you to invest into their story, to see them fail because they deserve it. They are such a douchebag. They're such a jerk. No matter how good they are, you cannot stand them and you want to see them get their asses kicked. So let's look at it. The results for heel of the year is, here it is. And I'm actually going to, again, let me pull it up here on this list. I think this is it. Yep. So AJ Styles really took a huge leap. Now, I don't agree with this list. Now, I understand that some people are saying that AJ Styles is a good heel worker. And he is. He works a good heel. But I never really felt like AJ made me want to see someone win. You know, I've always wanted to root for AJ Styles. He's a natural born babyface. He's a good heel worker. I mean, he can be a jerk. But to me, I never really hated AJ Styles to a point where I wanted to see him get his ass kicked. Bobby Roode, on the other hand, I thought she got a lot more votes. He is the quintessential heel. I think he is really good at making you want to see him get his ass kicked. Now, some of you probably, no, I think majority of you who watch me watch NXT, so I don't really understand why I didn't vote for him. But maybe y'all felt, well, based off of the list, I can see why you got other people on here who had a lot more votes. Especially, let's see, Mr. Chris Jericho, who, you know, I thought was probably going to take it because, again, just really good at his job. But there's also that same stigma that AJ has. I don't really hate Jericho. I don't want to see him get his ass kicked. I actually love seeing him be a jerk to others. I love it when he goes, "You're going to get it. You're a stupid idiot." You know, I love it. I love when he does that to people. The more of a jerk he is, the more I love him. So there's that weird dynamic there. I really thought Charlotte Flair should have gotten a lot more votes. I actually thought she would have taken it. I thought her and Miz would have been neck and neck. And no, actually, Jericho and Samoa Joe got more votes than Charlotte. Samoa Joe, completely understand, an amazing heel worker. Amazing. Very easy to dislike. He did not hold anything back. I love it when on NXT, he really made Regal his bitch. Regal! Bring me Nakamura or hand me my championship. Really awesome stuff. Revival was good. Mil Muertes, very underrated. Him and Katrina on Lucha Underground. Yeah, man. I won't say they're the modern day Undertaker, but if there ever was gonna be a modern day Undertaker and Paul Bearer, that would be it. Definitely. But you guys have said that The Miz is the heel of the year. And guys, you know what? Once again, we agree. Heel of the year is that loudmouth, The Miz. To me, it takes a special kind of wrestler to make a championship feel important. It takes a special kind of wrestler to make me want to see him get his ass kicked. It takes a special kind of wrestler to exude passion and this idea that he believes himself to be the best. It's hard for wrestlers to really do that nowadays, especially in this age of smart wrestling fans. And Miz has done that. I have never cared as much about the IC Championship as I do now. And it's been, well, it's been years since I cared this much. I think the last time I cared about it was like early 2000s. Honestly, early 2000s. It's just been a great year for The Miz. This has been the year for The Miz. I dare say this has been his best year. I don't know what it was, but the Hollywood gimmick, Maurice returning, which really helped his character. The entrance with the red carpet, his shtick, Miz TV, and then you have his feud with Daniel Bryan, and I will get to that Talking Smack segment later on. That's going to be mentioned. Best believe it. But The Miz, man, that stuff with Bryan is some of the best work I've seen him do. This is better than he was when he was world champion. I don't care what anybody says. I think Miz this year as the Intercontinental Champion is better than world champion in 2010, 2011. I don't care what anybody says. He had a match of the year with Dolph Ziggler. So, Miz, thank you for a great year. I want to see you get your ass kicked, but I'm pretty sure that's what he wants. We all agree that the heel of the year was The Miz, an epic action. All right, guy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next set. And here's where I'm going to go ahead and switch back to me because I need to add some more stuff to this list. So let me go ahead and add on the next category, which I believe is Best Champion of the Year. Now, this one pretty much says this guy who's holding the strap, who's holding the championship, the title, makes this belt mean the most important thing in wrestling. When he holds the belt, when this guy holds the championship, it actually means that he is the best. It is the best championship around. When he is carrying whatever, whether it's the U.S. championship, the IC championship, the world championship, could be the women's championship. Screw it. I don't care. But, you know, it's just whenever this person carries the championship, that championship is instantly the most important championship on the roster. And here are the results for Best Champion of the Year. And let's see here. Now, this one wasn't as close as the heel of the year. This one is pretty straightforward. Now, I'm actually trying to look forward here. I need to do a better job of making this a little bit more organized. I apologize for that, fans. Give me a second. Here we go. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward. There are only two winners. The Miz and AJ Styles. Everybody else, 1%, 2%, 3%. Everybody just feels like AJ Styles and The Miz were the ones that made those championships mean something. And based off of what you guys have said, AJ Styles is the champion of the year. And I can completely understand that. He's held that world championship. That's the only championship he's won so far. And honestly, I do feel like that's the best championship around. And I kind of feel like if we was to give him the IC championship, that would be the best championship on the show because AJ Styles held it. And AJ has had a history of being the most important talent out of any promotion, whether he is the tag team champion or he is the X Division champion or whatever. Whatever belt he is holding, it is the most important belt on that show. And AJ is such a good champion when he does that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you in terms of your pick on who you believe is the best champion in WWE or best champion this year. But AJ wasn't my pick. My pick for best champion of the year was Samoa Joe, the first ever two-time NXT champion. I will give you $500. No, I won't. We can be friends, though, if you can tell me where I got that from. Two-time. Come on. Where's it from? I know some of you know this because you're wrestling fans like me. But anyways, Samoa Joe is champion of the year. Just an all-out monster. I honestly do believe when that NXT championship belt was on Samoa Joe, it was the best championship ever in that company. I said I could put Samoa Joe up against AJ Styles, up against Roman Reigns, up against Brock Lesnar, and I would almost guarantee you Samoa Joe would come out on top. I feel like he would have come out on top because he is that awesome of a performer. He is that awesome of a wrestler. He's just a monster, 100% monster. And his work on NXT has been fantastic. One of the best heels. Just a straight up badass. He's the kind of person that walks into a room and you just kind of keep your distance from him. You know? And when he gets pissed off, you are in the next country. Not the next state or the next city. You're in the next country. Because you don't want to get hurt. This guy is that awesome of a champion. So, yeah. I mean, you guys aren't wrong about picking AJ Styles. I honestly believe that if we were going to have like a main roster best champion award, AJ would win it. But I'm taking all champions into account, and I believe Samoa Joe was the best champion this year. So that's just my opinion on that. Next up, I believe, is segment of the year. Yes, it is. Basically, the segment of the year is that segment that evoked a huge response emotionally, mentally, made you want to talk about wrestling. You know, it was headline worthy. It was the kind of segment that made you go, this is why I watch wrestling, and I got to see more. I need more of this. Got you invested in matches, got you invested in future storylines and future feuds. That, my friends, is what a segment of the year is supposed to do. And here are the results for segment of the year. As you guys can see here, this one, again, we have a couple of good ones, I think. Let me see here. Here we go. Yeah, I think pretty much all of these on here are worthy of winning the award. That Survivor Series team collision. Collide. By the way, I spelled collide wrong. It's Collidge. What is that? College. I don't know what I was trying to say. But collide, pretend the G doesn't exist. Survivor Series teams collide. That's the Raw before the Survivor Series match. 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. That entire segment was awesome. It's just a clashing of all the characters, the best characters from SmackDown and the characters from Raw. It had everything. It had James Ellsworth, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Chris Jericho, and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens doing his whole The Kevin Owens Show, the face that runs the place, AJ Styles. Everything about that segment was amazing. And it got you hyped for their match at Survivor Series. Daniel Bryan's retirement, man, again, it was such an emotional, heartbreaking speech. A guy that you know would give his life to wrestle again, would do anything to get behind wrestling, you know, get inside that ring. You know, it's just hard. And just me thinking about it, sometimes I wish, you know, I kind of wish that maybe just one more match. Come on now. I'm pretty sure most of you are just going, one more match wouldn't hurt, Brian. One more. But I will say this to the other people that retired, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Shawn Michaels, and others that have left the wrestling business, Ric Flair. You've always caught yourself saying, man, if they just had one more match. If you are saying that about Daniel Bryan, that just lets you know that he is definitely one of the greatest of all time. He's a legend, without question. Shane McMahon segment, when he returned, and that whole segment with him, Vince McMahon, and Stephanie, and then Vince made him wrestle The Undertaker, Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 32. Huge. Got you pumped for WrestleMania 32. Goldberg's return. Got you pumped for Brock Lesnar and Goldberg at Survivor Series. AJ Styles turns heel on John Cena. That heel turn was fabulous. And then, oh man, broken Matt Hardy and those segments with Jeff. That entire series of segments to where he eventually broke Jeff and made him his partner, slave, I don't know what you call it, with broken Matt Hardy. Just craziness all around. Shinsuke being taken out by Samoa Joe, NXT selling that injury, and everything with Samoa Joe involving that, where he was just attacking people outside the rings. And of course, Regal! This awesome stuff. I love it when he yells Regal. Regal! The contract signing with Samoa Joe and Nakamura got you excited for their NXT Takeover Toronto match, absolutely. And the face-off between Goldberg and Lesnar. Just awesome. Really, really awesome stuff. But the fans had decided that the winner, the segment of the year, will go to Daniel Bryan and The Miz on Talking Smack. Man, I would be crazy not to agree with you. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the segment of the year was indeed Bryan and The Miz on Talking Smack. First off, it launched The Miz's career into what would be his greatest year of his career. But it sparked discussion. It sparked this discussion of, okay, you have Bryan, who's telling The Miz that he wrestles like a coward. He wrestles a soft style. And that's why he doesn't get respect or the admiration of the audience. But then you have The Miz retort with saying, okay, listen, all you little hard style wrestling punks, I never got injured. I am able to do what I do every single week, day in and day out, because I wrestle a safe, smart, not soft, but smart style. And yes, I take underhanded routes to win. But people have done it in the past. That's what you have to do to be a good champion. But it really sparked this debate of who's right. Is Bryan right? You know, do you become that wrestler that has that short career, maybe 5-6 years, but, you know, you've had amazing matches, you've beaten the best, you've reached popularity, you've won championships, multiple championships. Unfortunately, your career is short and you're not able to really do it for a long time. Or do you become that guy like The Miz who has a very, very long career spanning decades? You win a couple of championships here and there, but you're not as popular. You're not the top guy. You're not really someone that the fans want to pay the money to see. You're not selling t-shirts. You're just a utility player, but you're still wrestling. What is the right path? And that whole debate just made for an awesome discussion. But on top of that, it really made you want Bryan and Miz. It makes me want to see these guys wrestle at WrestleMania. When The Miz told Bryan that exact same argument I said, Bryan retorted with, you know what? If they would let me come back, I would come back. And then The Miz said, then why don't you quit and go wrestle in the freaking indies? Bryan threw that microphone down and walked out. Now, even to this day, I still don't know if Bryan walking off was scripted or if that was a shoot. But I tell you what wasn't scripted. That promo by The Miz afterwards, where he is in tears, red eyes, he's angry, says to the cameraman, get that camera over here. Understand that this is 140-something days as IC champion, and this is my show, and you will not disrespect me. I'm not the coward, you're the coward. Miz is, dare I say, his pipe bomb. Like, amazing. I have never been this invested in The Miz, and I am proud to say that all the naysayers that said The Miz could never hack it in the wrestling business, this was the segment that said, fuck you. Yes, he can. Yes, I can. You don't know me. You don't know how I operate. I'm The Miz, goddammit. And that's really cool. So, without question, the segment of the year is The Miz and Daniel Bryan. But before we get into that, I want to stop for a minute. Other categories on here. How did you feel about that segment? How do you feel about Bryan and Miz? Better yet, who do you think was right? Let's go ahead and put what corporate wants versus fans want category or slot in this video, and you guys tell me who was right. Do you believe Bryan? Do you believe Miz? I'm personally on Bryan's side because I'm biased. No, for real though. I'm more of the guy that would give my heart and soul to the wrestling ring and put my body on the line to the point where the fans will pay the highest amount of dollar bills to come see me. That's the kind of person I would. Now, I wouldn't be walking right when I'm 35, but you'll remember me. You know, I understand that aspect of it, and I would basically side with Bryan, but I want to hear what all you other wrestling fans would say. Now, some of you are already saying Bryan and Bryan. Now, to the ones who say The Miz, because there are some Miz supporters here. Miz is someone that, you know, he wrestles smart, but why are you supporting Miz? Let's see. Okay, I have everything set. Let's go to the next one. As you guys are discussing that, let's talk about of the year. Promotion of the year, ladies and gentlemen, is that wrestling show that every single time you turn it on, you are guaranteed a great show. And that, my friends, is very rare to find nowadays. Is every single show great? Is every single show groundbreaking? No. Sometimes you have a couple of shows that are like, but overall, you are satisfied that you tune into the show. And here are the results a promotion of the year. It's pretty much 3 promotions. Let's just really get it out the way. WWE, NXT, and Lucha Underground. They have really just taken everything else. Everybody else, though, I mean, if you're a fan of PWG, you would understand why that thing has really just become a pet. It's not a pet peeve. What am I trying to say? It's something that I watch in personal taste. You know, it's just it's a guilty pleasure. There we go. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. It's the smart wrestling fan kind of wrestling show. But I understand. I completely understand why fans wouldn't like it. ROH has not had the best years. I mean, not this year, but the last 2 years. It hasn't really been all that great. I'm not going to lie. Same thing with TNA. This has been the worst year for TNA. They have hit the rock of rock bottoms. If it wasn't for Matt Hardy doing what he does, I don't think anybody would be talking about them, let alone caring about them. WCPW got some votes. Again, I haven't really seen WCPW. I respect what Cultural Pro Wrestling for what they've done. I hear the wrestling market over there in England is amazing, and I can't wait to see the UK tournament. I think that's going to be great. But Lucha Underground had an amazing year, breakout year, just downright awesome year. They got 22%. WWE was hit and miss this year. I feel like there were moments that were straight up awesome, like memorable. Like I'm gonna remember this for the rest of my life moments. And then there were moments where it was just like, oh my God, why am I a wrestling fan right now? You know, you get Shane McMahon returning and then Roman Reigns main event in WrestleMania. It's like, God damn it. You get Goldberg and Brock Lesnar facing off. And then you get Rusev and Lana and Enzo Amore in a hotel room. Oh my God. You get Bryan and Miz and Talking Smack, and then you get R-Truth and Goldust doing Pokemon Go segments. Oh my God. So it was hit and miss with WWE. And of course, hashtag Raw is dead. SmackDown's great, but Raw is absolutely garbage. So it's hit and miss. But it still had it's a noteworthy year, if anything else. But you guys have said that NXT was the show of the year because of the matches and the NXT takeovers. And you know what? Let's just not play around with it. We all agree that NXT was the promotion of the year. One thing about NXT that I always give it credit for, in this age or this time in WWE, where they're not really creating a lot of new stars, they're basically bringing back people they've already made in terms of Undertaker, Goldberg, Shane McMahon. Once in a while, The Rock will show up. You might get an appearance by Mickie James and others. By the way, Mickie James did come back on NXT, but she was used in a way that made everybody else look good. But with the main roster, they're not really creating new stars. They're not. They're basically trying to live off the past. NXT gets the credit of creating new stars. Where WWE doesn't create new stars, NXT does that tenfold. Bayley, Shinsuke Nakamura, Sami Zayn, poor Bo Dallas, but he is one. Samoa Joe, Kevin Owens, he was amazing on that show. Now, these are people that actually made a name for themselves on the indies. I'm talking about as their personas when they get to NXT. Kevin Owens is different from how he was as Kevin Steen. Sami Zayn is different than how he was as El Generico. Yes, they still carry that popularity, but it's a totally different audience and a totally different level when it comes to that. So Neville is another one, and so happy he turned heel. I can go on. Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley. I'd be here forever. They have created basically the new generation of wrestling stars for WWE. And NXT, even now, after the draft, when it got pillaged and raped in terms of numbers, they have managed to create, it's still live off of Asuka, The Revival, Gargano, and Ciampa. You got people like Shinsuke Nakamura. You got, oh man, they're still trying to make a name out of Ember Moon. You got Billie Kay. it's just a lot of people that are currently becoming wrestling sensations. I didn't mention Paige, I didn't mention Emma, but NXT gets the credit of creating the stars for WWE to use. Now, sometimes, and 90% of the time, WWE screws them up, but this is a great way to start them off. And NXT, I felt this year did exactly that. Created new stars for the main roster, and I cannot wait for some of them to come up. So, by far, promotion of the year goes to NXT. So, let me go ahead and get the new category set up here. The next category is going to be, return of the year. That one superstar that you thought would never come back. Or maybe you thought he would come back, but you didn't think he would come back like this soon or this immediately. And when he did come back, it made you happy. You know, his return made you a happy, happy man. Here are the results for return of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you look at this list here, by a large margin, there's only one winner. I'm not even going to try to discuss everybody else. I mean, love seeing Jushin Thunder Liger come back in ROH. And then he wrestled. When did he wrestle Tyler Breeze? That was at NXT Dallas, right? Yeah. Mickie James coming back to wrestle Asuka was pretty cool. Rhino tag teaming with Heath Slater was really cool. And of course, you got Taker, and then you got people returning from injury. Cesaro, John Cena, Nikki Bella. The biggest one that returned from injury was Seth Rollins. That return at Extreme Rules was mwah! That was money. That was awesome, and I'm still pissed off they didn't turn him babyface. They are going to regret the day they missed an opportunity to turn him babyface when it was organic, where the fans wanted to cheer him. And now, with the way they booked him, fans don't even want to cheer him no more. It's just awful. But you guys have said that Shane McMahon had the return of the year, and I'm not going to tell you you're wrong because the guy is amazing. I never in my life thought I would see him again. And it was cool seeing him. And it's cool seeing, first off, seeing him in good shape. You would think by this point of his life, especially after the crazy stunts that he's done, he would be limping, having some kind of a slant, maybe in his walk, or some kind of defection on his body. No, he's still in good shape. He's still walking. He has kids. He looks healthy. And it's good to have him back. Like, he's helping the program. Shane McMahon being in WWE makes the program better. And I'm happy to see him back. However, although the fans said Shane McMahon had the return of the year, he's not the return of the year for me. You know, I kind of feel like there was someone else who had an even bigger return. And I'm pretty sure you guys, hopefully you'll agree. But the return of the year goes to Bill Goldberg. Now, Michael Buffer in WCW, I felt like had one of the best entrances for Goldberg. He was the kind of person that, you know, he how do I put this? When Goldberg was, you know how he comes out. He comes out through the back, guards knock on his door. He bangs his head against the security, security door. Sometimes he comes out, blood coming down his head, or, you know, he's just aggressive and adrenaline's pumping. Walks out, here comes the fireworks. Crowd goes crazy, music hits. Michael Buffer had a way of making him feel like this is the biggest fighter in the world. And I kind of wish maybe, and I pray that maybe we can bring him back for WrestleMania 33. He can announce for Brock Lesnar and Goldberg again. But this is somebody I never thought would even come back to wrestling, let alone wrestle. Goldberg didn't just come back. See, Shane McMahon came back and he wrestled too. But Goldberg, 52 years old. Shane McMahon's at 52, okay? You know, at his age, sure. You know, he could probably still have a couple more matches. Goldberg is 52. Like, I just thought, no way. Absolutely no way. Not only did he come back to WWE, he came back and had a match against Brock Lesnar. And not only did he have a match, he beat Brock Lesnar in 90 seconds. He beat Brock Lesnar in 90 seconds at Survivor Series. Huge moment in wrestling. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody and their mamas was saying, oh my God, Brock Lesnar lost. Brock freaking Lesnar, the guy who ended the Undertaker streak, fell to Goldberg in 90 seconds. You cannot tell me that anybody could have made a bigger return to wrestling than Goldberg did. What a return. Amazing. And I'm sorry you disagree that maybe should make the biggest return. I think it was Goldberg. Goldberg, without question, had the biggest return of 2016. And that's just my opinion on it, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on to the next category, I believe is Promoist of the Year. This is the kind of wrestler or character or personality, whatever you want to say, that when he gets the microphone, you're listening. You're entranced. He can make you hate him. He can make you love him. He can make you feel all kind of emotions. But without question, this is the list of all the people that when they get on the microphone, there is literally no one better. There's no one else, nothing else that matters but them when they speak. Here are the results of the year. Now, this one is very straightforward. I can only see, let me see here, because I have to pull it up over here as well. Yeah, I can only see maybe 3 that actually had a chance. And those 3 really are Chris Jericho, The Miz, and Paul Heyman. Chris Jericho wins with the majority vote of 37%. 500 votes, by the way. And I think Chris Jericho really, if you think about it, yeah, man. I mean, I think if Chris Jericho really wanted, he can make you hate him. He has the ability to do that. I think Chris Jericho just loves being the guy that everybody loves to, you know, he likes being that villain that just entertains people. Chris Jericho just likes to entertain, you know. Now, that doesn't cut, or that doesn't undercut everybody else on the list. I think Bray Wyatt is, honestly, if we're being unbiased, if we're being completely objective, he is the best promoist in wrestling. Unfortunately, they didn't really give him much to work with this year, which is why, based off of your votes, he didn't get that high, and that's why I didn't pick him either. Bobby Roode, very underrated on the microphone. Dean Ambrose, same thing with Bray Wyatt, amazing on the microphone, but he didn't really get much to work with this year, and I wish he did. He had the Ambrose Asylum, I thought was a great idea to showcase Dean Ambrose. That didn't go anywhere, unfortunately. Enzo Amore and Big Cass, oh my God. Smack Talker Skywalker. Amazing. Amazing. You can hear those guys talk all day. Kevin Owens, another person, very underrated on the microphone. You can hear him talk all day. John Cena, of course. Mick Foley, of course. These are people who have made their careers talking on the microphone. The Miz, like I said before, had the year of his career. That promo on Talking Smack shows you that he can cut a promo. Paul Heyman, same thing as John Cena and Mick Foley, made a career off of this. He is the evil genius of ECW. You know, the client of Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar doesn't need to talk. He doesn't need to do anything. WWE can let Paul Heyman go out there and just hype everything, and he'll do it because he's good at that. He has the mind for wrestling. And anytime he talks, you listen. And then Stephanie McMahon, you know, Stephanie, oh my God. I wouldn't say that she makes you like her when she speaks, but man, can she make you hate her. Stephanie has the ability to take Jesus Christ and make him hate her. I'm serious. She's that good. But you guys said Chris Jericho is the promoist of the year. I don't disagree with you. However, he is not my pick. Promoist of the year, actually, will go to, and actually, let me get it up because I didn't actually put it up here on the list. Again, we're doing this off the cuff. Where are you? Here we go. Promoist of the year. Those two. Well, you know what? How about I say it like this? If you don't know who the Promoist of the year is, there's only one word to describe you, and I'm gonna spell it out for ya. Ladies and gentlemen, Promoist of the year goes to Enzo Amore, Enzo and Cass, if you want to be fair. These guys just, oh my God. Since day freaking one on the main roster, they have been a hot tag team, and they have not lost any of their momentum. None. You can hear Enzo, you can hear this guy talk for days and still be entertaining. He's making catchphrases as he goes. It's like Chris Jericho. Like Chris Jericho and Enzo Amore in the microphone, just, oh my God, that would be a great segment. But Enzo can go for days talking. You got, what do we have here? A couple of haters. His entire entrance is like he has the crowd speaking with him. There's only been a few wrestlers in the world today that can get the crowd to literally say their intro with them. New Age Outlaws comes to mind. You know, and then, of course, Soft, which is amazing. But these guys are hilarious. They can make you laugh. They can make you cry. They can make you smile. I've never seen them as heels, but they're natural-born baby faces anyway, so I don't want to see them as heels. They'd probably be good heels, by the way. Amazing. Just an amazing tag team. And definitely Promoist of the year will go to Enzo and Cass. So, next in the list, pay-per-view of the year. Now, this one, I got some heat for it when I did my top 10 pay-per-views of the year. People felt like Battleground 2016 should have been on there. Money in the Bank should have been on there. Just other pay-per-views all around. I will say this. When it comes to pay-per-view wrestling events in 2016, we've had a bunch of good ones. Not all of them have been great. WrestleMania 32 was very disappointing. But outside of WWE, including some WWE pay-per-views, but outside WWE, you had a lot of good pay-per-view, live event, pay-per-view matches in the pay-per-view events. And I kind of feel like 2016, when it comes to pay-per-views, wasn't half bad. It wasn't half at all. But let's take a look at the results for Wrestling Pay-Per-View of the Year. Let's see. Here we go. Guys, I am doing this as we go along. So, results. And it is up. Here we go. Now, this one's pretty close. We had a lot of... It was neck and neck for a time there. I'm not even kidding. Like, let me pull it up here for a minute. I got to pull it up here on my side. Here we go. Like, for instance, I actually thought NXT Toronto, TakeOver Toronto, was going to win it out because that was the one leading the pack for a while. And then NXT Dalyxman snuck up behind it, you know, because we got more votes as time went by. There was actually a point in time where Wrestle Kingdom was number one. I think Wrestle Kingdom was number one for like a day. And then NXT Toronto beat it. And then NXT TakeOver Dallas came up and beat it as well. But it's funny. You know, you look at the ones that have actually made the top 5? You would think. Yeah, top 5. The Cruiserweight Classic Finals. Amazing. Just an amazing show all around. NXT Toronto, NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, NXT TakeOver Dallas. Yeah, basically those 3 NXT TakeOvers made the top. And I wouldn't really be shocked if NXT does that again because NXT TakeOver shows are always amazing. New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom is always amazing as well. I'm not really shocked at the ones that got the most votes. What I am shocked at is the one that won. Based off the votes, said that NXT TakeOver Dallas was the show of the year. Now, that was an amazing card. Oh, my God. It was an amazing card, was it ever? You had the Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn fight. You had Bayley versus Asuka. You had the main event, Finn Balor versus Samoa Joe. To me, their best wrestling match out of all the wrestling matches they've had. You had Austin Aries debuting against Baron Corbin. You had, was that the Tyler Breeze versus Jushin Thunder Liger. Just an amazing show. Completely eclipsed WrestleMania. That's the sad part. That was so much better than WrestleMania. So I'm not saying it wasn't a great show. It was an amazing show, but I felt there was a show that was better than that. And I'm pretty sure if you guys saw my top 10 pay-per-views of the year, you know what that show is. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. To me, the pay-per-view of the year should go to the, hold on for 1 minute, guys. Once again, I need to clean up this list because there's a lot of stuff I gotta get going here. So pay-per-view of the year. Pay-per-view of the year winner. Here we go. Pay-per-view of the year goes to the Cruiserweight Classic Finals. All the matches on there was amazing. All of them. Every single one of them. And you look at the card itself, the only issue I have with the way this was set up and the finals and everything about that, I kind of feel like TJ Perkins, who was the winner of the tournament, I think it would have been better for him to beat Kota Ibushi and then beat Zack Sabre Jr. If he would have beat both of them, it really would have set him apart. He would have been like the top guy in the Cruiserweight division for a while. I kind of feel like it was bad to have Grand Metalik beat Zack Sabre Jr. I get why we didn't want to do that because Zack Sabre Jr. and Kota Ibushi didn't sign with WWE. I get that, but still, come on now. I feel like this was the right opportunity to have him beat the two fan favorites and really put him over. And we would have been fine with it. Absolutely. That is my only nitpick about the show. The matches were phenomenal. Even the non-tournament matches were great. It's a showcase of what a cruiserweight can do, what the cruiserweights are able to do. And it's definitely, to me, a highlight. The WWE, when they put their minds to it, can make our cruiserweight division work. They can make our cruiserweight division work if they really, really wanted to. But that is definitely my show of the year. Go out of your way to watch it if you have not. Now, better yet, watch the entire tournament. You will not regret it. If you have not seen the tournament, watch the tournament first, then watch the finals. I promise you, you will not regret it. All right, guys, as my camera gets into focus, there we go. I think the next category here is going to be, let's see, I did promos of the year. All right, now we're getting down to the nitty gritty. Let's talk about the feud of the year. That feud where you have two people that just loathe one another. The feud that says if these two were locked in a room with one another, male or female, if these two wrestlers were locked in a room with one another, they would kill each other. The kind of feud that makes you go, oh man, I gotta see where this goes. The feud that every single match was a step above the other. The feud that says, oh my God, this is what wrestling is. Whether it's a good guy versus a bad guy, or it's just people who don't like each other. You know, it hits that manliness inside you, man. It's like, yes, this is what I came for. I want to see these two fight, kill each other. And then when you didn't get it, the kind of feud that you would get pissed off if the wrestling promotions did not give it to you. You know, I feel like there were a couple of feuds this year that created that. However, there can only be one. There can only be... Here are the results for feud of the year. So, let's take a look at this. I actually think, as I pull it up here on my side of things, where are you? Where are you? Come on. You just made the list. Oh, man. Where are you, feud of the... I just missed it. What the heck? Let me see here. Here we go. No, that's match of the year. Come on, Dalyxman, get your act together, man. Here we go. Okay. Feud of the year. You can only really talk about 3 matches, really, because everything else didn't really get that many votes. Although Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, they had a pretty decent year. I do think their feud was at least worth watching. I like the history they had. And Adam Cole as a world champion of ROH was really, really cool. And Kyle O'Reilly getting the belt and finally being able to say that he was better than Adam Cole was really cool. AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose's feud was really centered around James Ellsworth. You really can't say Styles and Ambrose would have worked or could have worked without James Ellsworth, because it probably could have, but the way they booked it, James Ellsworth was like the catalyst of that entire feud. So I really can't say Styles and Ambrose without including James Ellsworth. Styles and Roman Reigns, that was the best feud Roman Reigns has ever had, and the best matches he's had as well. American Alpha and Revival. Oh my God, what a great series of tag matches. An amazing series of tag matches, as well as Gargano and Ciampa. Revival just brings the best out of tag teams. They're just amazing, man. Lesnar and Ambrose didn't get any votes. Honestly, I don't blame you, because that match was so disappointing. As well as Orton and Lesnar, that match was just It was just no votes for Roman Reigns and Triple H. Thank God, because that was an awful feud. Just straight up doo-doo. Straight up doo-doo. Now, the ones that got some love is Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. All those two can fight forever. Hashtag fight forever. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. They're going to have a feud going into, their 40s. They might end up inducting each other into the Hall of Fame one day. They might end up doing that. Alongside them, you have Gargano and Ciampa versus the Revival. I spelled Ciampa wrong. It says Chomp. Chomp. Forgot to add the A. I apologize for that. Yeah, great feud. You had Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura, Shinsuke and Samoa Joe. Man, I will say this. All of their matches weren't the greatest thing in the world. They were good, solid matches. Their feud felt legit. Like, it felt like a big-time feud. And I was very happy to see it. Then you got The Miz and Dolph Ziggler, which got a lot of votes. Oh, my God. That was the kind of feud that made that IC championship feel important. Like I said, Miz having the career of his life. And then Ziggler, struggling. Not having as good of a career as The Miz. Not really reaching success. Putting his career on the line to go after that championship. That's the kind of stuff that makes the IC championship feel important. Happy that these two had a great year. But you guys have said that AJ Styles and John Cena had the feud of the year. And they had a great feud. It's finally come to a point where we can say somebody has beaten John Cena in a feud. And it feels good. Every single singles match that AJ's had with John Cena, he's beaten him. He's beaten John Cena. And I love it. He has overcome John Cena. The John Cena problem is not an issue here in 2016 because people like AJ Styles is coming in and beating him. Amazing. Amazing series of matches, by the way. And, of course, a match of the year candidate by far from their match at SummerSlam. However, I got to tell you, as good as that feud is, it is not my feud of the year. Yeah, you knew this was coming. I'm pretty sure you guys know that these two women, that's right, two women had the feud of the year. And I'm pretty sure some of you are going, oh, God, Dalyxman, why is this? Why is this the feud of the year? Why? Because they had so many matches, blah, 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 blah. Guys, to me, when it comes to this feud, you have those feuds that, they're good, but after they're done, it's like, okay, what is there to talk about? It's like, okay, it was a good feud. AJ Styles and John Cena, I'll be honest with you. AJ Styles came out on top. It put him over. But when it comes to the feud, I just go, well, it was a good feud. This feud, however, I can tell I'm going to be talking about for a long time. Because this was the year that WWE actually took two women, all their eggs in the basket with them. They got main events on Raw, a main event in the pay-per-view, so much TV time. They closed Raws. They had closing segments. They had people like Ric Flair, Bayley, all kinds of people involved. And dare I say, man, they came out looking better because of it. Both of them. So I really can't say anybody else had the feud of the year other than Sasha Banks and Charlotte. Sasha Banks and Charlotte had the feud of the year. This was a great year for women. An amazing year for women's wrestling. Not just in WWE, but NXT, Lucha Underground. People like Bayley, Asuka, Charlotte, Sasha, Sexy Star, Eva Catalina, Candice LeRae, and Becky Lynch, and Alexa Bliss. I can go on forever. So many great women's wrestlers. And I hope to see this going on into the future. These two need to continue making a name for themselves. By far, one of the best female wrestling feuds ever. I will say this, though. I am getting annoyed at WWE trying to shove it down our throats. Yeah, it's a great feud, and they have done very good work, but you don't need to tell us that it's great. That's what really pisses me off. I hate that WWE does that. They tend to go out of their way to pound it into your freaking head. This is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. Say it's amazing. Say it's amazing. And it makes you want to go, you know what? No, it's not amazing. Shut up. And I feel like they're doing that with Sasha and Charlotte somewhat. This is amazing. Hey, they got the main event. Look at us. We are awesome. We're revolutionary. Women in the main event. This has never been done before. UFC. Sorry. So that's the only aspect. That is the only aspect about this feud that I don't like. I am fine with them having the feud as long as they did. I know a lot of people don't like the length of the feud. I'm fine with it. Like, what's wrong with them going a long time? They did a very good job with it. I mean, the whole story of Charlotte winning the championship on pay-per-views, but then Sasha winning it on Raw, it keeps you on the edge of your seat. It makes you go, wow. Like, how far are they going to go with this? And then just capped off with their Iron Man match at Roadblock. I prefer their Falls Count Anywhere match they had on Raw. What's that? November? I forgot the date of it. But the third time Sasha won the Women's Championship, I prefer that as like the best match of their feud on the main roster. Is it their best match, period? No, I kind of feel like they had a match at Our Evolution. That was their best match. I feel like Our Evolution 2014, Sasha and Charlotte, that was their best match, period. But their Falls Count Anywhere will go down as one of the best matches they've had this year, without question. When WWE does their top 10 matches of the year, that better be on there. That match better be on there, by far. So, yes, Sasha and Charlotte are the feud of the year. Next up, the next category here will go to Tag Team of the Year. I gotta say, man, when it comes to tag teams, this has been the year for tag teams. Oh my God. Just, you look at all the promotions, tag team wrestling is back. And it's come back with a vengeance. I love what they did with the New Day. New Day, being the awesome organic babyface tag team that they were, really helped become a catalyst for this to work. But then you bring in tag teams like American Alpha and the Revival, and then you have people like Worldwide Underground and Lucha Underground. You have, of course, the Bullet Club, or the Club in WWE. Jesus Christ. You have the Authors of Pain, who won the Dusty Rhodes Classic. TM61, the Mighty Don't Kneel. The Young Bucks. Sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Ricochet and Matt Sydal, PWG, Lucha Underground, NXT, WWE, ROH had their Ladder Wars, which was tag team. You had the Addiction, Christopher Daniels and Kazarian taking on the Young Bucks, and then they fought the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. This has been the year for tag teams. Just an amazing year. So I was very certain this was going to be a very competitive category. But we'll see what happens here. Here is the results for Tag Team of the Year. And let me go ahead and get this up here. Tag Team of the Year 2016. And bam! There it is. All right. So, not a bad all around, not too bad, because I kind of feel like I will say this about the tag team list. I do feel like there were some people that kind of should have got more votes, but if you really think about it, it's fair voting. It's about fair. I think American Alpha should have got more votes. I think Soft, Enzo Amore and Big Cash should have got more votes. I definitely feel like the Worldwide Underground should have got more votes. Authors of Pain, again, Dusty Rhodes Classic. Good to have Paul Ellering back. Managers making a big return. Good stuff. DIY, Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, your new NXT Tag Team Champions. Love seeing them. Rhino and Heath Slater. Love that entire storyline with Heath Slater, who wasn't drafted on the WWE brand split, and then had to come back and found Rhino as a lifesaver to help get him his contract back, and then win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Usos, since they turned heel, have been amazing. Before they turned heel, they were boring as hell. So I can understand why they did not get that much love. But they were great and are great heel workers for 2016. Bullet Club can't get any better than, Bullet Club or the Club when they were the Club and they were awesome. But you guys have said that the top three are the New Day, which I don't blame you at all. Broken Hardy Boys, Broken Matt Hardy and Broken Jeff Hardy, don't blame you at all either. And coming in with the most votes is the Revival. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? We agree. Not even going to waste time with you. The tag team of the year is definitely the top guys on NXT. And that, my friends, is the Revival. Let me get it up here for a minute. Tag team of the year results. Boom. There it is, baby. Top guys in his house. Great throwback tag team. Love Dash and Wilder. Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. Dash and Wilder, sorry. I love Dash and Dawson. There we go. That's why we call them Revival. Great tag team. Oh my God, a throwback. What I love about them is there are no flips. There are no kicks. They are straight up ground and pound, in-ring wrestling fast. They are a fast-paced, unorthodox, brainbuster-esque Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard tag team. Maybe a little bit mixture of the Steiner brothers in there as well. But they're just amazing. Every single tag team they fight, they elevate. You hear me? They elevate their opponents, and it's very rare you get those tag teams that make their opponents look like an awesome, awesome team to fight with. And I kind of feel like Revival, when they get to the main roster, I'm a little bit worried they won't get as much time to shine or even get a chance to shine. But I think this is the kind of tag team that when they and if they get a chance to work with people like the New Day, Enzo Amore and Big Cass. You got the Usos and American Alpha. Again, why not? Because they were awesome in NXT. But other tag teams that made a name for themselves, they are going to take the entire tag team division and make it awesome. I am putting all my eggs into that basket. I think Revival are going to take the NXT, not just NXT, but the WWE tag team division, period, and make it some of the best tag team wrestling I have seen in years. So thank you, Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder, for an awesome run as tag team champions. The very first ever two-time NXT tag team champions. And hopefully they'll be a future two-time WWE tag team champions, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. Please be SmackDown. Please be SmackDown. And there you go, guys. Let's move on. Next category on the list here is Female Wrestler of the Year. We got a few more awards to go. This is the woman, right? The woman that personifies female wrestling. The one that says, hey, done. Even a woman can get inside the ring and do it just as good, if not better, than the men. And we had a good year of this heck noise. People banging their speakers, riding their cars across my street. That was loud. We had a great year of women's wrestlers. And this was the year I honestly felt like female wrestlers got the respect they should have gotten. Should have gotten for the longest time. But hey, better late than ever. Here is the results for Female Wrestler of the Year. And here we go. All right, here we are. Let's see. It's pretty much a straight up. I'm sorry, and I love all these girls on this list. Asuka had an amazing year. I actually thought she would be neck and neck with Charlotte, but no, she's not. She's tied with Sasha Banks, who also I thought would be a little bit closer. I honestly thought it was going to come down to Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte. But no, Charlotte, oh my God. People are making noises across the street. It's getting on my nerves. Regardless, Charlotte Flair is what fans are saying is the female wrestler of the year. She's better than Alexa Bliss, who was the second SmackDown Women's Champion. Becky Lynch, who was the first SmackDown Women's Champion. Bayley, who is by far the best NXT Women's Champion I've ever seen. Candice LeRae, Ember Moon, a.k.a. Athena the Goddess. Athena, who basically has... oh my God, that's loud. Athena, who basically has the best finisher in wrestling. Kimberly, Nikki Bella, PWI #1. Oh my God. And Sexy Star, who became a Lucha Underground World Champion. You guys are saying that Charlotte was the best female wrestler out of all of them. And quite frankly, I'm going to sit here and say I agree with you. Because really, when you think about it, you don't get any better than the Nature Boy's daughter, Ric Flair, someone who is genetically superior than all the other women. And ladies and gentlemen, your winner for female wrestler of the year is indeed Charlotte Flair, if anything else. I'm just gonna call her Charlotte. I don't know why we're calling her Charlotte Flair now, because she's Ric Flair's daughter. We gotta market that. I don't know, but it's cool. You know, I'm not gonna complain about it because she's amazing. She can make you hate her. She can make you love her. A really good wrestler inside the ring. An amazing athlete. Has some of the best matches this year. The first ever women's champion, WWE Women's Champion for this generation, was the only female wrestler to hold the NXT Women's Championship, the Divas Championship, and the Women's Championship. 15-0 on pay-per-views. 15-0 on pay-per-views. That's a great record. Well, I guess if you don't count her tag team match at Battleground. But if we're talking about singles matches, 15-0 in terms of singles matches, that's still an amazing record. Nobody else, there haven't been men that have been able to do that. When you think about it, there haven't been men that have done what Charlotte has done. And I think that's amazing. She's already a 4-time women's champion, and based off of how she loses that belt, I wouldn't be shocked if she's a 16-time women's champion by 2000 or before 2020. She's young enough to go that far. I'm not complaining about it. I think she's amazing. Can get that heat. Queen Charlotte. Love Queen Charlotte. Amazing. Just amazing all around. So yeah, guys, female wrestler of the year goes to Charlotte. Next up is Breakout Star of the Year. Breakout Star of the Year goes to the person that really, when the year first started off, he really wasn't much. Didn't really have much to him. Just a person that was just a wrestler. But then he had an amazing match. He had an amazing match, another amazing match, another amazing match, another amazing match. Great segment, a great moment. And all of a sudden, by the end of the year, he's one of the most talked about people in the wrestling world. That, my friends, is a Breakout Star of the Year. And we had a ton of those wrestlers. We had plenty of those wrestlers. But here is the top Breakout Stars of the Year. Breakout Stars of the Year 2016. Here we go. Results. Now, some of you are looking at this and going, why are some of these guys on here, like Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura and all of them? Because to me, let me explain this. I honestly believe Shinsuke and Samoa Joe. By the way, you should know that Will Ospreay was supposed to be on this list, but I apologize for that. I do think he probably would have got more votes than most of these guys, but I forgot to put him on the list. That's my fault, and I apologize for that. But anyways, Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe, yeah, they were around way before they came to WWE. They were in TNA and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they did make a name for themselves. But to me, this was the year both of them became main event stars. Like, straight up, these guys can beat Brock Lesnar, main event stars. And that's what I feel like when it comes to Breakout Stars of the Year. That's why they're on the list. As well as the Revival, amazing tag team. Kenny Omega had the career of his life in New Japan Pro Wrestling. As well as Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, amazing tag team. They became top babyfaces overnight after NXT Toronto. Braun Strowman had an amazing run on Raw. So far, he's doing a really good job. I like what they're doing with Braun Strowman as this big, muscle-bound, destructive machine. I like it. He's really cool. You don't get a lot of big men that get good booking by WWE, and he is getting some good booking. Asuka, really awesome year. Undefeated women's champion on NXT. American Alpha, really awesome year. Let's see here. Let's again, I gotta look at the list over here because I'm having a hard time seeing the full list on the screen that I was looking at. So let's see. I said, who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing somebody because this is Breakout Star of the Year. So let's see, Breakout Star. Here we go. I said, oh, that's it. Asuka, American Alpha, Bayley. Wait, no, Adam Cole. Sorry. Adam Cole, Alexa Bliss, American Alpha, Asuka. Adam Cole, again, you know, he didn't really get as popular or reach the level of popularity that he is now until he got this really cool run with the ROH World Championship. So, yeah, definitely Breakout Star of the Year. Now, you guys are saying that Shinsuke Nakamura was Breakout Star of the Year. And quite frankly, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I do believe that he had a great year. It's by far one of the best years for Shinsuke Nakamura. However, again, I got to say this. I do feel like I do kind of feel like there were a couple of people that should have been on the list that I forgot to put on there. Most notably, Jeff Cobbs, who is playing Matanza on Lucha Underground. I did not put him on there. I apologize. El Dragon Azteca Jr., I didn't put him on there. Should have done that. You know, I think about other people who really made a name for themselves. Pentagon Jr., that's another one. No, because Pentagon really became a breakout star in 2015. If I think about it. So, but I could put him on the list as well. There was one more person that I should have put on the list, and honestly, he was my pick for Breakout Star of the Year. And again, not your fault. It's my fault. Dalyxman should have done a better job of making this a little bit more clear. But my pick for Superstar Breakout Star of the Year goes to Will Ospreay. You know, I just feel like ever since this guy came in and he started just taking the world by storm on the indies, from the best of the Super Juniors against Ricochet to PWG matches against Zack Sabre Jr., not Jeff Hardy, John Hennigan, or you know him as Johnny Mundo or John Morrison. His work in Revolutionary Pro Wrestling. His matches against Will Ospreay, not himself. His matches against Marty Scurll, excuse me. And just an amazing performer. And I think he's just become the most talked about indie wrestler. Yeah, today he is. His match against Ricochet sparked. Again, when you spark discussion in the world of wrestling, you've done your job. You know, he had people questioning if his wrestling style is wrestling. The high-flying, choreographed, yes, but very athletic and very impressive work of art that he does inside the ring is revolutionary. You know, it's really cool to see that kind of wrestling done nowadays and to get people from all sides of the world saying, you know, this guy is an amazing wrestler. He's changing the face of the game. Or people saying that, that's not wrestling. That's not where I grew up with. You're ruining it. You know, love him or hate him, Will Ospreay is an amazing athlete. And by far, without question, definitely, in my personal opinion, the breakout star of the year. So there you go, guys. Will Ospreay is the breakout star of the year. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, and oh yeah, and I'm actually going to talk about this. Thank you to one of my live fans for mentioning this. Will Ospreay was so amazing that Paul Heyman personally offered him a contract with Evolve. That's how you know. That's how you know that Will Ospreay is someone worth talking about, because when you have Paul Heyman going out of his way to actually offer you a contract, you are definitely, my friend, worth the time. So, moving on to the next match. The next match. Yeah, I'm a matchmaker. Sorry. The next award is Match of the Year. That match that said, this is wrestling. The match that put all the elements of a good match to the test. All the elements that had psychology, that had well-pacing, fast-pacing, that had an exciting storytelling, showcase the best of the best performers, and you got the best out of them. And overall, the match that, when it was over with, the wrestlers in that match came out better. The fans were screaming, yelling, excited about it. They got their money's worth. And a match that made you go, that's why I'm a wrestling fan. That's why I am a wrestling fan. That's why I watch. That's why I spend money. That's why I deal with all the crap and I eat shit and like the taste of it. That is exactly why I stick around and deal with all the horrible booking, all the horrible writing, all the horrible characters. I stick around because of matches like this. And my friends are the results of the match of the year, or matches of the year. When I think about it, I'll put it to you that way. All right, here you go. Put it up here. Match of the year. Results. And there we go. Now, we're going here. Match of the year. I'm trying to get it up here. Give me a second, guys. All right. When you think about it, there's only 3 matches that people cared about. There were a lot of good matches this year. Styles and Reigns at Extreme Rules 2016. Styles and Ambrose TLC. Ziggler and Miz, the career versus title match. And I feel like that's a match of the year. Candidate at least. Top 10, definitely. You had Gargano and Ciampa at CWC. You had Okada and Tanahashi, Wrestle Kingdom 10. Owens and Zayn. Killshot and Marty the Moth Martinez. Weapons of Mass Destruction, Lucha Underground. Sexy Star and Mariposa, Aztec Warfare 2. Ibushi and Cedric Alexander from Cruiserweight Classic, as well as TJ Perkins and Ibushi. That got no love, by the way. That kind of hurts, but I don't blame you. Matt and Jeff's final deletion. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Falls Count Anywhere. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Iron Woman. Sasha Banks and Charlotte Hell in the Cell. Nakamura and Sami Zayn. DIY and Revival. NXT TakeOver Toronto, by the way. Styles and Cena. And then, of course, Ospreay and Ricochet. 3 matches really matter. Nakamura and Sami Zayn from NXT TakeOver Dallas. You had DIY, Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, taking on the Revival at NXT TakeOver Toronto. And then John Cena versus AJ Styles at SummerSlam 2016. And you guys said that the match of the year is John Cena versus AJ Styles in 2016. The match where AJ Styles proved once and for all he was better than John Cena. And John Cena came face to face with his own dark reflection, which I thought was really cool. That was a really nice story they told. Finally, somebody comes in and just proves that he is the real face that runs the place. Love that. And, you know, usually, if NXT didn't exist, I would agree with you. That would definitely be match of the year. Unfortunately, it is not my match of the year. I'm going to go with the NXT tag team match that people are raving over. My match of the year, ladies and gentlemen, was DIY Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano versus the Revival. And this match had everything. You had that story of Revival beating Gargano and Ciampa at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And you had Gargano blaming himself, upset that he lost the match for his best friend. And then without even mentioning it, you could tell there was this tension between Gargano and Ciampa. They showed it on the Cruiserweight Classic. You know, you had this idea that Ciampa was getting fed up with losing because of Gargano, getting fed up with being a loser. And the tension of this match, it being a 2 out of 3 falls match, which was awesome, by the way. But the whole tension behind this match was this idea that if Gargano and Ciampa lost, Ciampa was going to turn on him. You knew that this was going to be it. This was going to hurt their friendship because they both loved this. They both wanted this more than anything else. And I do feel like, and this is me being real with you, this was, if not the best tag team match in the longest time, one of the best tag matches I've ever seen. This is the quintessential match that if I was to describe what a tag team wrestling match is, this is it. Fast paced. That had me going, oh my God. There was a spot in this match where the Shatter Machine was done by Gargano and Ciampa. That match, you would usually see Revival use the Shatter Machine because that's their finisher. The Shatter Machine is the Revival's finisher, and they won the first fall with the Shatter Machine. But in that match, there was a spot where Gargano and Ciampa used it, and I thought they were going to win with it. And I thought that was an amazingly well done a near fall. But the near falls meant something. You know, even with Gargano being like the knee bar, like he was at Brooklyn, you told yourself, oh my God, please don't tap out. Please don't tap out. Please don't tap out. And he didn't tap out this time because he had a reason not to. Because he knew that if he tapped out this time, there was never going to be another chance for them to do it. And I loved this idea that Revival could have actually won. Because for the longest time, Revival had conquered tag teams that we thought should have beat them. They conquered Enzo and Cass. They conquered American Alpha. So we thought to ourselves, shoot, they might actually beat Gargano and Ciampa. No, they didn't. At the end of it all, it was such a relief to see Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano come out on top. They came out as the winners of what was one of the best tag matches I've ever seen, and it was glorious. Glorious. I will defend. I won't give in till I'm victorious. And they were victorious. What an amazing match. My match of the year is a tag team match. Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, DIY, taking on the Revival at NXT TakeOver Toronto. So that just leaves one more award. And that, my friends, is Wrestler of the Year, Superstar of the Year, the wrestler that personifies professional wrestling, that personified wrestling in 2016. He was, by all means, the man. He was the guy that was having the best matches. He was the best champion. He was selling out arenas. He was having the best segments. He was the guy that every time you saw him, the fans lost their minds over him. The fans, without question, felt that he was the man for wrestling. WWE, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, PWG, ROH, you name it. This guy was the guy, the absolute best wrestler in the world. And right here, and quite frankly, when I show it to you, nobody's going to be surprised. Here are the results for Wrestler of the Year. And bam. Like, it's not even a contest. And I mean, look at this. Look at this. We have Bobby Roode, Chris Jericho, Dean Ambrose, Finn Balor, Johnny Mundo. Johnny Mundo had an amazing year, by the way. Lucha Cup winner, Lucha Underground Trio champions, and world champion. And get to the Guys champion. An amazing year. Just all out amazing year. Kenny Omega had an amazing year. Kevin Owens, IC Universal Champion. Finn Balor, first ever Universal Champion and NXT Champion. Longest reigning NXT Champion. Roman Reigns, main event WrestleMania. Ricochet, Samoa Joe, first ever two-time NXT Champion. Sami Zayn had arguably the best matches of the year, based on what people are saying. Seth Rollins, the man who calls himself the man. Shinsuke, Tetsuya Naito, Will Ospreay, Bobby Roode. So many awesome talent that could have easily been Superstar of the Year. Even broken Matt Hardy, who actually was the second most highest voted person on this list. And he was a guy that I thought probably would have gave the one who won the biggest shot. Brock Lesnar even went to UFC, won his match. It got turned around, but still, he had a great year. Lost to Goldberg in 90 seconds, but shoot. Can't really say that he didn't have a really bad year. Really good year. But, guys, the results say it all. Out of 500 votes, 70% of you said AJ Styles. AJ Styles was the wrestler of the year. And you know what? I would be crazy if I did not agree with you. Come on now. Wrestler of the year could not have been anybody else. It really could not have been. Wrestler of the year is, in fact, the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. What a year. What a year for AJ Styles, man. This man came in at the Royal Rumble and, based off what you guys said, had one of the headlines of the year. Debuted at number 2 in the Royal Rumble. Shock. Like, the shock of the year. And quite frankly, I'm telling you right now, the fact that he got the reception that he got lets me know that everything he did leading up to WWE meant something. It meant something. Had an awesome feud with Chris Jericho. Had a great feud with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' best feud since he's been a single star, really. Had a great feud with John Cena. Really made a name for himself by beating John Cena twice. One dirty, one clean, no arguments made. And then would go on to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion the very next month. In 1 year, Royal Rumble debut, beat Chris Jericho. Lost with him at WrestleMania, but he still beat him. Had awesome matches with Roman Reigns. Beat John Cena clean and became their world champion while beating Dean Ambrose, who is also a big name in the company, and just really making a name for himself. You can't tell me AJ Styles did not have the year of years. This has to be the best debut year any wrestler can ask for. Like, the only few people that can actually say they had a similar year to this, where their first year there was amazing. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar. Someone help me. Please, someone. I can't think of anybody else. Hogan. That's cheating. But, yeah, man. Just an amazing debut year for AJ Styles. The biggest compliment that anybody can give to AJ Styles is what Vince McMahon gave to him. After AJ Styles beat John Cena and they won the World Championship, I read a report that said Vince McMahon actually regrets not signing him. He regrets not signing AJ Styles when he could have back in the day. And that's an amazing compliment. One thing I will say, though, and this is something that ties into his feud with John Cena, I honestly believe if AJ Styles was to have come in 2002 and gotten everything that John Cena got, I say he'd be just as big as John Cena. Like, if he came in 2002, got the same push, maybe not the same gimmick, but did everything he did in TNA, but did in WWE, fought Shawn Michaels and Shelton Benjamin and Triple H and Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle and Edge and so many others, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, you name it, just amazing wrestlers. Maybe would have fought CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan when he was there. If AJ Styles would have came in when John Cena came in and actually had the career that John Cena had, or at least got the same booking that he got, not as the Doctor of Thugonomics, but as AJ Styles, do I think he'd be as big as he is today? Yeah. I honestly believe AJ Styles could have easily been what John Cena is today. The only person that I would say could say that and really mean it. So, Wrestler of the Year is AJ Styles. Gotta buy that shirt, by the way. Still haven't bought no AJ Styles shirt. Gotta get on that. All right. Jesus Christ. I am done. That's it. That, my friends, is my end of the year awards. Thank you to everybody who stuck through all of this. If you watched it all, hashtag I watched it all. I'll end this by talking about what I'm looking forward to in 2017. I'm looking forward to once again reaching out to more people, to once again let you guys know how I feel about wrestling, being a wrestling fan and enjoying it, and seeing the business progress, prosper, with more characters, with more wrestlers, with more segments, with more storylines, seeing companies like Lucha Underground and NXT and PWG and ROH and WWE, of course, but all these other wrestling promotions just continue to grab more audience eyes, bringing in more viewers, helping people understand and making people more fans of the world of wrestling and making the art of wrestling what it is and what it should be. An art. Whether it's cruiserweight wrestling, big man matches, whether it's technical wrestling, whether it's storyline, story-driven matches, whatever you want to call it. It can be an old school kind of match, 80s wrestling kind of match. It doesn't really matter. What I want to see is for wrestling to prosper. And I'm going to do my best in 2017 to be the guy. Whether I am a reporter of the news, a reviewer, or whatever, I am going to be the person that is going to be to talk about wrestling. And 2017 is my year. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to do whatever I can to make this channel the premier wrestling channel here on YouTube. I said in the video before, 100,000 subscribers is what I'm aiming for. Will I hit it? Probably not, but that is my aim. I'm going to do whatever I can to make this channel awesome. And it's because of you fans who watch me, who support me, who stand by me, who continue to deal with my crazy self, but you love wrestling like I love wrestling. It is because of you that I am still here. It will be because of you and our love for wrestling that keeps me around for years to come. You haven't seen nothing yet from me. If you thought me being on WWE's YouTube channel was awesome, if you thought me interacting with wrestlers on Twitter was awesome, 2017 will be the year of your boy, Dalyxman. And I implore all of you to join this ride with me. And thank you so much for being real fans. Guys, this is it. This is the last video of 2016. The next video you see me on will be my Royal Rumble video, the very first Sunday in January. Yeah. Yes, sir, ladies and gentlemen. So basically next Sunday. Next Sunday will basically be me coming up here and doing a full discussion on the Royal Rumble. Who I think should win it. Surprise interest I want to see. Your top 10, of course, your top 10 picks to win. Just a big discussion on the Royal Rumble. And who I think should come out on top. Feuds I want to see come out of it. Returns, all of that. Big discussion. January 1st, 2016. Don't miss it. It's going to be awesome. Thank you guys for everything. Let's make 2017 another good year for your boy Dalyxman. Subscribe, like me here on YouTube, like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, buy the t-shirt, everything down below in the description box. This is your boy Dalyxman signing off for the last time in 2016. I'll catch you guys in 2017. Peace out.